All right, that was Paiste Syndicate securing their spot in the final. They have a relatively meaningless fight on their behalf, at least next Saturday, but certainly Perihelion have a must-win next Saturday. Amar setups, Flagships, Balgorns.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. The Balgorn made a lot of sense in there. The Abaddons, well, not so much. Paiste brought the ECM team from the previous matches with Tweedson, though they did some pretty interesting target calling. They went for the Guardian as one of their first targets when in an ECM team, why bother?
Yeah, I mean, the entire point of it must have been locking the Guardian down so you can kill everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe there was too much Amar on the field for them to feel comfortable about jamming every single ship. So maybe they called it to put all those jammers on the battleships instead so that they didn't get any damage in and focus on that Guardian, which probably was a good call because, as we saw, they did lose 2 rooks.
Yeah, exactly. If they really had to go in there with off-racial jammers, that was not ideal. And I would agree, like, if they had lost a rook trying to jam out the Guardian just because they were jamming with off-racial, it would have fallen apart very quickly. They did, in fact, lose 2 rooks, most likely because they were missing jams.
There was like a bit of what kind of looked like a turning point, but on the other hand, was it just too little too late?
We were at the edge of our seats there for a good while when the first rook was hanging on in a sliver of armor before it went to structure. I think Paiste probably overloaded their scimitar reps just for long enough for the Guardian to go down, and it was, these ECM teams, if that domino falls,
the rest of the team does.
The dangers.
I feel like if the rook had gone down in the first time it went low instead of the minute later after it had been repped up, I feel like this match probably would have gone the other way.
Yeah. Could have very well done so.
One thing Paiste did not do, though, is they did not loot the flagship. On it there was a few Imperial Navy newts, as expected. There was a Trusancia web and a Federation Navy web.
Yeah, if you're gonna field flagship, put some officer mods on it at least. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a cost thing because some of those officer mods can be pretty expensive. But really, if you're bringing it out, you should probably go 100% and not shop on the budget.
Yeah, I mean, don't embarrass yourself. I think that pilot should feel a little bit embarrassed.
Not having the big wallet we would be hoping for. All right, let us just quickly jump back to Hilmar and talk a little bit more about E3. You mentioned World of Tanks, League of Legends, 2 fun games I play as well, and I'm probably one of the people that have gotten pretty used to the free-to-play model. Is the old-fashioned subscription gaming dead?
I wouldn't say it's dead, but I mean, if we look at what has been going on in EVE ever since we launched the game, then immediately we see that people buy ISK of real money traders, of websites all around the world, eBay, whatever. And so the emergent activity was there from beginning. So the sort of desire to invest in your hobby has always been there. Of course, we enable this to some extent with ETC trading we allowed on the forums back in 2006-07. And then, of course, late 2008, we come out with Plex. And these have all been sort of incremental movements on our part to sort of keep up with the market trends and also what the players fundamentally want to do. And of course, we're now taking the next step with the release of Aurum at the end of this month. And that will certainly allow us to bring some of the design innovation, business model innovation, and just continue to innovate, because we are a company that like to do that, not be left behind in a model just because it was the thing we chose at one point. Because what we can see, what happens to companies which do that, then they will just fall behind the curve as other companies will come ahead and innovate. And if we want to stand by our commitments to have EVE going on for decades, then we will have to innovate on this front as any other front we have done.
So EVE needs to sometimes change and look a little bit different. Sometimes some of those projects are a little bit crazy. How does the idea come about, and how do you say, yeah, let's just tie these two worlds together? Like these crazy projects like tying Dust into Eve, are they easy choices to say, let's try and innovate? Are there a lot of people that are a little bit nervous about the business risk? There's a lot of companies that do conservative stuff, but we don't really.
Yeah, and well, it's a bit what type of company you want to be. Do you want to be a company that follows or leads? And we have just have a culture of doing that, and it's really about bracing that, rather than say this can't be done because it has never been done, which basically means then you're innovating. So it wasn't maybe. I mean, certainly people have had a lot of questions about whether you can do this on the connecting Eve and Dust together and all that. But as we have seen already, I mean, it's already done. It's actually going to be a bit of a hassle, keep the games apart, now that they basically share the same server architecture. So they are really fundamentally connected together. And I think it's a bit of a misnomer to say that Dust is connected to Eve. I think a year from now we will talk about it more, Dust and Eve combined to create the Eve universe, and what happens in the ground and in space and in space stations, in Eve Gate, in all the types of experiences we might integrate into Eve into the future. This will all combine to create this product ecosystem we've been talking about for years now.
And hopefully this Eve universe will continue to grow and just be more and more amazing. And one of the things when people ask me is, when you watch all the old Western movies and you see the cowboy walking down the street and all those houses aren't actually real. They're just these big wooden facades. And that's kind of what you need to get past. You need to know that it's a real building you walk into. There needs to be something over the mountain.
Yep.
And adding more to the ground and adding more to space is just going to contribute to an actual world.
Completely. We're just beginning.
We're just beginning. One thing we have another prize here. It is from EVGA. It is a GTX 560. It is one of the prizes that's up right now. Let me just not block it by the laptop. There's currently a prediction thread for the for the 2040 match, Kadeshi versus Y-Dot. This is a predict the winner competition. It is on the forum for this graphics card by our friends at EVGA. So go predict the winner, and hopefully you can win one of these cards. It is a fantastic card. As far as I know, this is what powers space shuttles, but I may be wrong. Anywho, that is the prediction for the last match. We do have one before that. We have the Godfathers versus Get Off My Lawn. This is two losing teams.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because both of them have a lot in this game. So they're both going to be going after this with probably one of their best setups.
I think that Godfathers, as an alliance, recently lost almost 50% of its membership of just a couple months ago. So I think they're probably really hungry and they really want to take the victory and move out of the group stage. So I'm going to go with Godfathers.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Godfathers as well.
All right.
Where are they from? I bet against the Finns last time around, and that was not a good idea.
I'm not actually entirely sure.
Godfathers are from Fountain.
All right.
I want to say Eastern European, Serbia, Croatia.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I'm going with the trend and betting on that.
All right. I think I might go against it. I believe Get Off My Lawn might take this, but there's really only one way of finding out.